game, the losing team is going to complain about officiating. That's the only thing I don't like about close games. And I think if you're Buffalo and you're reducing that game to 2 inches on a 4th down, you're missing the point. You know, there's an old saying, and Josh Allen said this, to be the champ, you have to beat decisively the champ. And the Chiefs, you can't hold your breath and make this play your life preserver. There were still 13 minutes left. You still led the game. Both teams were going to get minimum 2 offensive possessions, and from that point forward, Kansas City outscored Buffalo 11-7 and had a 2-point conversion. And most of all, what happened to Buffalo? Their final drives, right? Like basically their season was reduced to this great player, Josh Allen, semi-Hail Mary to Dalton Kincaid, who dropped it. CBS kind of glossed over that. Like, that was a big play. Maybe not Mark Andrews easy, but that is, Dalton Kincaid's a good player. That's what your season was reduced to. Look in the mirror. Ad-libbing Josh Allen on 4th and 1s. So there was a lot of ball game left. And on that blitz that Spags, we can show it again, a Pro Bowl corner left unblocked. And they knew what side Josh Allen would roll to. I mean, Kansas City had the tush push figured out. They knew where you were going to roll. It's called coaching. It's called execution. And Sean McDermott is a defensive head coach. How come every time they play Kansas City, the Chiefs drop 30 to 35 points? This was the most points Kansas City scored all year. Think about that. That doesn't even make sense. They didn't look good last week or several weeks before. For most of the season, we felt like, why did Xavier Worthy just pop in this game? Well, part of it was a weakness for weakness for Buffalo is their safety and cornerback health. So if you want to just cling to going on the road, if I would have told you as a Bills fan, you went on the road, and I would have said you're 2 for 6 on tush pushes, Dalton Kincaid potentially drops the winner, you're reduced to a Hail Mary on your final big play of the season, and Kansas City scores their most points all year. Oh, by the way, you'll fumble 4 times. You would have thought you would have been blown out. You were lucky to recover all 4 of them. And James Cook didn't touch it. Final drive. Here was McDermott after.
We got to keep working to get over that hump. There's no doubt about it. So we've won a lot of tough games this year against really good opponents, really good coaches. And I'm proud of this football team for us. So this is, you know, obviously a challenge for us. We'll figure it out.
So I've said this. I think Sean McDermott's a good coach. But good coaches don't go in and face Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson and win the championship. I mean, you look at all those Sonics, Jazz, Charles Barkley's sons, very good teams. Jordan, Pippen, Phil Jackson, all-time greats. Right? Jordan, the best player, Pippen, the best Robin, Phil Jackson, the best coach, and they have home court advantage. So you're not, and what do you do with Sean McDermott? Well, he's too good of a coach to let go. I always feel he is the defensive version of Mike McCarthy. And I think Mike McCarthy is a B-plus coach, highly employable. I feel like McDermott is an organizer, and if your organization is a bit of a mess, he'll organize it. He reminds me of Chuck Knox, who was known for playoff struggles. Chuck Knox, and that was Chuck Knox's reputation.
Okay. Let's talk about this. I don't have to start talking about Chuck Knox. Yeah, no, I agree with Colin in terms of who Sean McDermott is. And, you know, he can stabilize a franchise. He can make things not a disaster, which is important because there's plenty of coaches that just things collapse. They cannot keep things even remotely organized because being a head coach is difficult in the NFL. But there's a few things that I want to say. First off, listen. On one side, I agree with what Colin is saying about the fourth down conversion and stuff like that, because the Bills were still in a position to go and win the game, and they were unable to do that. Like that, you know, has to be said. But to act like converting that fourth down wouldn't have changed the game significantly. But Buffalo Bills would have had the ball. They were driving down the field. If they scored a touchdown, it's now a 2-score game. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs now had short field position, great field position. They were able to march down the field and score and now take the lead. That changes everything. So do not act. And it was clearly a conversion. Everyone can see it. Everyone can see it. Romo can see it. The commentators can see it. The fans can see it. The TV ref can see it. So don't act like that was not a big part of the game, because it was. We can talk about both things. We can say that was insane and absurd and change the game. And we can also say that Kincaid has to catch the ball. That Sean McDermott has to be a better coach. That the Buffalo Bills have to do a better job to help out Josh Allen. And what's so obnoxious is you continue to see the trolls of Kansas City Chiefs. They're like, oh, how much help does Josh Allen need? And it's just like, just stop. Seriously, just stop. It's just such nonsense. It really is. To be on a team that gets out-coached, outplayed, out-game-planned. Their running back doesn't touch the, he touched the ball 8 times. They ran the ball 8 times in the first half. Doesn't touch the ball in the final drive. Josh Allen has an unblocked corner coming right at him. Makes an amazing throw. One of the best throws you'll ever see. And the tight end drops it. It hits him like in the elbows. Which would have been a first down in field goal range. 2 timeouts. That changes the game. They still could have had the chance to win the game. And they didn't. And again, their go-to play was just give the ball to Josh Allen and try your best to convert the down. Which is insane. You don't see other teams ever do that. You don't see Andy Reid asking that from Mahomes. You don't see the Ravens asking that of Lamar. You don't see Bill Belichick asking that of Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. You just don't see it. They literally have no play in mind. They're just like, here, Josh, hike and go. And it's absurd. It really is. It's really absurd. And if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you should be genuinely furious. You really should be. You should be furious. Because this is a game that you could have won. And you have a defensive head coach that built a defense that is the 5th worst in the NFL. This is the Eagles, number 1 defense. This is the Kansas City Chiefs, number 2. This is the Bills, bottom 5. You're up there with the Raiders, the Saints, the Commanders, and the Panthers. And like I said in my previous video, the 2 outliers are the Bills and the Commanders because they both have special quarterbacks. Look at all these other teams. What do they all have in common? The Panthers, the Saints, the Raiders, the Cowboys, the Jags, the Jets, the Patriots, the Cardinals, the Bengals, the Giants, the Titans. All teams that didn't make the playoffs. You have a defensive head coach. I understand there's some injuries. I get it. That it can't all just be about the injuries. It just can't all be about the injuries. It just can't. It could be a contributing factor, absolutely. But again, what was the offensive game plan? Why can't anyone on the Bills step up and make a big play? 2 years in a row, Josh Allen hits a receiver in the hands, drop. The Buffalo Bills had 3 drops. Really crucial. And again, it's just like their game plan is just have Josh have the ball. And he has to just find a way through. Like, huh? That's the game plan? With Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, that's their fallback plan. Patrick Mahomes' heroics are their fallback plan. That's plan B for the Kansas City Chiefs. For the Buffalo Bills, it's plan A. And that's why you lose 32-29. That's why you lose. It becomes that simple. Guys, look at this. Look how Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs put Patrick Mahomes consistently in a position. Yards after catch per completion. 5.6 for Josh Allen. 7. I mean, that's insane. 7. And then intended air yards per pass attempt, 8.4 to 6.7, nearly 2 yards further. Everything is so difficult. So difficult for the Buffalo Bills. The passes that Josh Allen had to make, I mean, he threw some of the most unbelievable throws that I've ever seen. To Shakir, to Hollins. I mean, like, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Beautiful throws. These 20, 30-yard strikes in narrow, tight windows. Unbelievable. And then you have Patrick Mahomes able to throw the ball like 7 yards and then have, Worthy or whoever rip off another 20 yards after that. Or a wide open, insert whoever. Wide open Juju Smith-Schuster. It's like, what? And again, Andy Reid's the GOAT. He's the best. So he's going to scheme that open. He's going to scheme that. Absolutely. And Patrick Mahomes is obviously a great quarterback. And so he'll be able to take advantage of that. But to consistently make it so difficult for Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills team, you're just going to keep getting outcomes like that. You're just going to keep getting those outcomes. There's no other way to slice it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills? How do you think Buffalo can get over this hump? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.